There was a fungus that was thrown through the air and hit people's bodies like darts, infecting some people and ultimately killing them. The fungi basically ate their skin and organs away.
Oh my god.
Hey guys.
Hello! Welcome back to the local Gayliens, where things get weird and they stay weird. I'm Brandon.
I'm Ashten. I just got shy. No, I'm kidding. A little bit though. And we are a paranormal podcast that has a lot of giggles.
Yes. We're gonna do this over.
No! No, we're not. No, we are not.
Okay.
No, we're not.
That's what we're doing then. We're sticking to it, and you're just gonna have to fucking
That's
deal.
our story, and we're sticking to it.
Yeah.
That's my story. That's
my story.
Oh, that's my story.
Why are all these old-timey songs
I
like
don't know.
popping into our head?
It's just the vibe.
That's my story.
Yeah.
If you don't know that song,
Look it up.
shame on you.
Shazam us.
Shame.
Shazam
Yeah.
us. Shazam us singing it and see if it pops up.
That's a fun game. Right, you guys? Right?
That'd be so funny if it actually popped up.
And then we're like...
That would mean we were on key.
Amazing singers.
Yeah.
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 Vocalists. We are vocalists.
Yes, we are.
You should see us at karaoke. Do you sing?
I've sang karaoke 3 times in my life.
Only 3?
I get stage fright.
Oh no, sis.
I sang, the first time I sang karaoke, I sang that Whitney Houston song. Dun, dun. Remember we talked about
Dance
doing
with
that?
somebody?
No.
Oh,
Dun,
rolling,
Yeah.
rolling
And I
on
did
the
the Miss
river.
Congeniality dance.
Oh, do, 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 do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I would do that with you.
And then I sang Toxic by Britney Spears.
Yeah, you did.
But I did it with someone else. And then I sang Thinking with My Duke.
I know that song. I'm just thinking with my...
I sang that at Pride a couple years ago.
Nice. That's solid. I've seen karaoke like a bajillion times.
Yeah, Hannah loves karaoke.
I would do karaoke with you. I would do
Yeah.
that Whitney Houston song.
But I'm getting braver.
It wasn't Whitney Houston, by the way. It's not her song. It's Tina Turner.
Shame on me.
Yeah.
Shame on me.
Shame on you.
Well, sorry guys. That's
Sorry,
embarrassing.
Tina. Sorry, Tina.
Dang. I'm an asshole.
Yeah. Sorry, Tina. We love your music.
We do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But 2 iconic women in history.
Yeah.
So,
That's why you
vocalists.
couldn't think of the song when I said Whitney Houston.
yeah, I was like, Whitney Houston.
But you still figured it out.
I
anyway.
did, because I put pieces together
Yeah.
in our lives.
Yes.
Yeah.
In our
Yeah. And I'm like, okay,
You're
that's
like,
what
I
we
know
talked
what
about.
you're saying.
Yeah, that's what we talked about. Yeah. Because I was going to be Sandra Bullock,
Yeah.
and you were going to be the
Yeah.
dude. I know exactly what you're talking about, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so.
I remember having that conversation
It was
in our
so
Caribou
good.
coffee uniforms.
Yeah.
Slinging
Slinging beans.
chocolate coffee.
Chocolate coffee.
coffee.
You guys, it's raining outside, so both of us are a little bit...
I'm high on allergy medicine.
Yeah. That Zofran.
It's the only way I can survive right now.
That Zofran's got her fucked up.
Popping bennies at night, Allegra during the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's a allergy warrior.
I don't want to be. I'm tired.
Yeah.
I'm ready for the war to be over.
Please, can we end it? The war on allergies.
This is what they meant by World War III.
Oh, it's just
We're
allergies.
all fighting for our fucking lives.
Because of allergies.
Because of allergies.
That's all it is.
Yeah.
Don't think about anything else.
We eventually all suffocate because of the pollen.
These groceries are expensive. Fucking allergies.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fucking allergies. This bread is $5. Allergies. Why are my eggs $23?
Allergies.
Fucking allergies. Yeah, so if we could just eliminate allergies.
Yeah. Problem solved.
Yeah.
Or, I don't know, maybe plant some female trees. Maybe do that.
Ooh,
that might solve the problem.
That would be fun.
I'm no botanist or anything.
I would love a good female tree.
Well, it'll keep the pollen from being everywhere.
Bunch of bitches.
The dude trees will have something to give their pollen to.
Sexual intercourse.
With trees.
With trees. Okay, don't be gross. It's roots on roots, bitch.
Mm-hmm.
And those roots, they be growing.
Yeah. Baby trees.
Little baby trees. We just went through the tree life cycle. You're welcome.
That's where that song came from. Kissing.
Because them trees are fucking.
Swinging in a tree.
Tree. Kissing. I wanted that song to be sung about me so bad, but everyone's like, Brandon's single. All the time.
I'll sing that at your future wedding someday. It
was just me running around asking girls out when I was younger, and they're like, I think you're gay. And I'm like, that's so offensive.
And now people are like, I think you're straight. That's so offensive.
So, like, story time. So, in high school, I was fighting for my motherfucking life. I was like, I don't want nobody to know I like boys, because that's gross.
It's not obvious or anything.
So I was rotted, gutted.
Yeah.
I went to, I'm going to call them out. I'm not going to say their names. But there was these two twin sisters. I asked one out, and she shot me down. And then, so I went to her sister and asked her sister out because they looked the same. So I thought, like, maybe people would think I was just attracted to that.
Oh, my gosh.
And then she shot me down and was, like, basically, like, I think you're gay. And I was like...
You're like, you're not telling me I'm gay.
I was like, moi?
You're like, I don't know. Let's hook up and find
out.
Yeah.
I was like, you think I'm gay? I will eat your poussoir right now. And she's like, Brandon, that lisp is diabolical. And I was like, you're a hoe. I asked so many girls out in high school, though. Every single one of them.
No, there was a guy I was really good friends with in high school. And we actually were really good friends in elementary school. And I remember being so close in elementary school. And when he would talk to me, he would, like, play with my hair. But, like, it wasn't, like, in a way, like, oh, my gosh, I'm obsessed with you. Like, I knew he was gay.
Yeah.
And then when we got older, he came out as bi. Then eventually after high school, he came out as just, like, gay.
Yeah.
But, like, it's crazy how hard he was trying not to be gay because he was vulgar about, like, when he would talk about women, vulgar. But it was just like him just overcompensating, trying to be straight. So he's like, oh, if I talk about women, like, people think I'm straight. And we were like, bro, no.
See, I never did that. I never, like, talked down or nasty about women.
Yeah.
I think I was just very, like, I was trying everything I could to convince. So we've all been there. I was trying to convince, I think, myself and them, like, no, this is not true. Because at the time, you know, being gay was, like, it wasn't cool. It wasn't, like, the cool thing. Now everybody's fucking gay. Mm-hmm. But, like, back in the day, it was, like, I don't want people to know I'm gay because I don't want to be, you know, attacked or all this crap.
Yeah.
But, dude, I asked so many girls out, and every single one of them, I acted like I was so offended. Mm-hmm. I was, because I was like, no, I'm so straight. My own mother looked me dead in my face when I came out to her and said, duh.
Duh, Brandon. Glad you finally figured it out.
She's like, we all know. I don't know why you're telling me. Dinner's ready. And I was more offended that she didn't hate me.
You, like, wanted her to fight you.
I did. I wanted an argument.
Please convince me I'm not gay.
Yeah, and then I wanted to be like, let me tell you why. Let me tell you why, Mom. But there was none of that. I didn't get my opportunity to have this dramatic battle for my future.
Yeah.
Or anything. And don't get me wrong, I'm glad I did it. And I feel sorry for those who do. But I had built it so far up in my head, I was ready to fight for my motherfucking rights.
Yeah.
I was like, if you want to kick me out, that's fine. I'll go stay with my friend.
And she's like, honey.
She's like, calm the fuck down. She's like, I literally was just going to tell you the pot roast is done cooking. So dinner's ready. Come downstairs. Chill out.
Oh my God.
That was basically the conversation. And she left the room and I was like, you fucking bitch. Ah!
And then you come downstairs, you're like, guys, I have to tell you something. Your mom's like, shut the fuck
up.
We already know.
Yeah, she's like, oh, God, we get it. We saw the computer history.
Oh my God.
We saw the history. You didn't delete it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and I'm like, what are you talking about? I don't even watch that. That's so gross. That's not even me. It was probably Corey.
Isn't that, like, crazy, though, that, like, the more, like, straight presenting you are, the bigger deal it is when you come out?
It really is.
But, like, if you don't really seem straight presenting, people, it's, like, from a young age, they're like, oh, we knew.
Yeah.
But it's almost like they're, like, offended that they were, like, bamboozled by, like, thinking you were straight.
Fact.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I get that. Which is upsetting. Because you should just be who you are. Yeah. Like, Pride Month is coming up. You should just be who you are. Yeah. Like, especially in 2025. I feel like, the world's in turmoil right now. But still, in 2025, things are so much better for, like, coming out and things like that than they were back then.
Yeah.
Because everyone's so much more used to it. It's not that, like, you've got more rights now and all this jazz so much. It's just more like people are like, oh, you're gay, okay. Most of them, not everybody. We still got a ways to go. But for the most part, people are like, okay, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know? So it was just so funny, like, oh my God, fighting for my life in high school. I did the same route as I would think most gay men do. We don't go straight from straight to gay.
Yeah, it's
I'm bisexual. And that was, like, laughable in my case.
Yeah.
People are like,
Yeah.
My friend Leslie, I was like, I have to tell you something.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm bisexual. And she was like, okay.
She's like, oh, you still kind of like girls?
Yeah, she was like, right. And I was like,
she's like, well, I knew you liked boys.
Yeah.
But I was surprised you like girls.
Yeah. I'm like, oh, okay, but you're still my friend. Yeah. Yeah, Brandon. Yeah. And then, like a month later, I was like, okay, I'm a little gay. Yeah, because I fell in love. I fell in love with someone. So I was like, yep, no, I'm gay. Yeah. I'm gay. It was a dude, and I was like, I am so fucking into him.
Yeah.
Like, because, I don't know, he had this manly presence, and I was like, I'm gonna let that inside me. Mm-hmm. No, it did not happen. But I was in love.
Yeah.
And so then I was like, yeah, I'm gay. And then I was like, oh, shit. Like, I asked all these girls out, and now I'm like, I'm gay, and they're like, we can't believe it.
Oh my God. Well, I remember, like, when we would be, like, drunk at the bar, like, my friends would be, like, they would get drunk and, like, make out with each other. And then, like, Ashten, make out with me. And I was just like, oh, I don't do that.
Yeah, it's so gross.
I'm not going to do that to, like, impress a guy. I don't need to do that to impress a guy.
Yeah.
And then the second I kissed a girl, there was no turning back.
It was Katy Perry.
I think internally I knew. I was like, Ashten, don't even tempt yourself because there's no going back.
You're not going to go. Once you go Les, you don't go. No, I'm just kidding. But, like, seriously, that's how it is sometimes. Like, you're like, oh, that was my epiphany.
Yeah.
That's what happened to me. It was an epiphany. I didn't have to kiss him. But, like, I knew, like, oh, man, I have feelings for him.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's what this is. But I realized I loved women, but I loved hanging out with women. And I think that was, like, where my brain was. I was like, but I like girls. It's like, yeah, you do. Yeah. You just don't want to, like, eat them out, you know? Like,
there was this lesbian that used to come into Caribou before I came out. And she would, like, actively, like, hit on me, but, like, it was, like, funny.
Yeah.
And I just remember, like, I would get so nervous every time she would come in.
You're like, oh my God, I want to scissor.
I mean, not necessarily her, but I was like, oh my God, she's like hitting on me.
She's like, I'm so hot. That you're like, I'm
like, I could have her if I wanted.
Yeah. Look, I can pull men and women. That's that moment. But then like everything falls into place.
Yeah.
I feel like the real you can only hide it for so long. It's exhausting.
Yeah.
Like, and in 2025, I don't feel like it has to be as much. So
I mean, I think the hardest part is family.
It really is. That is the
because like that was a struggle. I didn't think it would be a struggle for me, but it was.
It was.
Still kind of is sometimes with certain family members.
Sometimes. Yeah.
And, like, I genuinely thought they were the ones who were going to be okay with it, and they weren't.
Well, and it turns into a situation where you're like, it's not that I don't want to talk about it. I'm just not talking about it because I know where you stand.
Yeah.
And it's, like, one of those things where it's like, you just pretend it just isn't a thing.
Well, yeah, I didn't make a big deal of it. I never even, like, had a conversation where I was like, I need to tell you I'm gay.
Right.
I just showed up to the family reunion with the girl I was dating.
Oh, see, I came out on TV.
That's when you came out? Was it made?
No, I told my mom. And stuff before that.
I didn't know that.
I came out, the rest of my family, I came out on TV.
Wow, so we're both like, go big or go home.
It really was. Yeah. It was really like, this is it. Am I just going to do this show and pretend I'm not? Like,
honestly, it probably saved you a lot of conversations. You're like, everyone's going to find out at the same time. I don't have to like.
Literally, I was like, this is the best way for me to just be like, I'm gay. Yeah. Tell the world I can't take it back. It's there, and Yeah. MTV's made, y'all. Watch it. I did a triathlon, and I told the world I'm a homosexual.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. I had my first, like, gay date on that show, too.
I remember that.
It wasn't real. It was set up, but it was still, it was a gay man.
Yeah. And you went to that bar that closed down.
No, it was Access.
The shower.
It was Access.
Oh,
remember?
I thought that was at that bar that closed down.
No, Access used to have the showers.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
I missed that too.
And
I didn't get to go to Access when they had the showers.
I'm sorry.
I wasn't in my party phase yet.
I only did because of the show. The producers were literally like, "We're gonna go, and we're gonna party."
And I was like, "Were you again? Like 16?"
No, I was 18.
Oh.
But I was like, I had never been to a gay bar really.
Yeah.
Like I've been to a gay bar, like the one on the square.
Oh yeah.
Remember?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And but I had never been to a gay club.
Yeah.
So walking in, I was like, my camera guy. Yeah. My camera guy got roofied.
I've been roofied there.
Yeah. See, Columbus.
Stay away from Access, guys.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, that's fun.
Wow. Okay.
Gay.
Well, I'm about to tell the second story of the day.
Yeah, you're welcome. You get 2.
Yeah.
Coming out.
2 for 1.
Yeah, coming outs and
coming ins. No, I'm kidding.
Coming ins.
I don't know.
I don't know. Shit.
I don't really know how to relate this to that, but
yeah.
And like, I'm not gonna lie, we're gonna do a little disclaimer. This story, I'm like, how do I give the disclaimer without giving it away before I tell you the story?
It's okay.
Okay, if you are familiar or you experienced the Joplin tornado of 2011, I'm just warning you, that's what we're talking about. So, like, do with this podcast what you will. There's going to be some sad stories, so I'm just giving that disclaimer.
Okay, a little heavy.
I mean, obviously, death is kind of a part of every story we tell because we talk about ghosts. But this one's, like, a little fresh.
It's a natural disaster.
Yeah, yeah.
It's a natural disaster. Yeah. So it's going to be a little bit harder to
It could be a little triggering for people.
Yeah.
So, have you heard of the Joplin tornado that happened in 2011?
I think so. It's been a long time, but I think I know what you're referring to.
Yeah, they, like, recently actually came out with a Netflix documentary about it.
See, I've not watched it.
Okay. It is crazy.
I will have to watch it.
It's crazy. Like, storms, like, excite me, but that was the first tornado documentary I've ever watched where I was, like...
anxious.
Shit.
See, now I need to watch
Because
it.
I know we get, like, a lot of tornadoes in Ohio.
Yeah.
I've personally never experienced one, which is probably why I'm so, like, fascinated with them. But this tornado documentary, I was like, I don't know if I want to experience one.
You know, when I lived at that house in Heath, the one you
Yeah.
stayed the night at, we had a tornado go through our backyard.
I remember hearing
Yeah.
about that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have experienced one. Not as devastating,
Yeah.
but I've been through one.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, there's one part of the story that is missing from the documentary,
Oh.
and that is the butterfly people phenomenon. I had never heard of it.
The butterfly people phenomenon.
Yes. But first, we're gonna talk a little bit about that day and the tornado,
Yeah.
so we kind of know where we're coming from. So, Joplin is a city in southwest Missouri on historic Route 66. This is actually the city that Bonnie and Clyde hid back in 1933. That was a little fun fact I found in my research.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe that'll put it on the map for some people. I don't know.
That's fun.
Yeah. The population at the time of this story was about 48,000 people. So, I don't know how to give you guys a comparison, but to give you a comparison, they had about 1,000 more people than we did in Newark at that time. So the size of Newark back in 2011.
Okay, so a decent sized.
Yeah. But still one of those towns
Hometowny.
where everyone knows everyone.
Yeah.
People wave to each other on the road, one of those
Yeah.
kind of towns. It's a city, but town vibes.
It's a very small city.
Yeah.
Think that.
Yes. So in May 2011, it started out as a beautiful sunny day, like most devastating tornadoes do.
Right.
Which I actually found out recently that's why a lot of tornadoes happen on really pretty sunny days, because I'm getting super into weather lately.
No, you're good. Yeah.
But the heat is what makes the tornado so powerful.
Yeah.
So the sunnier the day is, the more devastating a potential tornado or storm could be.
When that cold front moves in on to the hot sunny day, that's what causes that.
So that's why even movies like Twister, the day always starts out so sunny and beautiful.
Yeah.
But there's a reason for that. It's not for cinematic purposes of look how terrible this day. No, it actually is that's what makes the storm so powerful.
Yeah.
So there was a high school graduation taking place that day, and obviously people enjoying it was on a Sunday afternoon, people getting out of church, what was supposed to be the best day of some of these people's lives took a very dark turn. An EF5, which is the highest you can get,
oh my god,
tornado devastated the city and was considered one of the most catastrophic in U.S. history. The tornado killed 161 people and injured over 1,000.
Damn.
It leveled houses and buildings, causing $2.8 million in damage. And the tornado is actually estimated to be 2 miles wide.
An EF5, just for y'all, I'm sure you've seen it.
Get.
Yeah, it's it's a giant.
It's its own entity.
Yeah.
It's not even Mother Nature at that point. It's a demon.
It's literally 6 football fields wide. It's so massive. I feel it's incomprehensible. I've seen it on TV even. You're
But in person, I can't.
I couldn't imagine.
There's no way you're outrunning this thing.
No, I could not imagine. I'd be awestruck.
Yeah.
To see something that insanely. That's why they're so devastating.
Yeah. What's even crazier is some of the people didn't even die from the tornado. They died afterwards because there was a fungus that was thrown through the air and hit people's bodies like darts, infecting some people and ultimately killing them because it was a flesh-eating fungus.
What?
Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. So, you survive the tornado and then potentially end up dying because this fungus, got lodged into your body.
Yeah, it's necrotizing fasciitis. That's the flesh-eating disease.
Yeah.
That is...
Yeah, I don't actually remember what the name of it was, but that could have been it.
It's flesh-eating bacteria. That's wild.
Yeah. So, there was actually a well-known YouTuber who graduated from high school that day. His name was Will Norton. He went by Wildebeest on YouTube, and sadly, he died in the storm. I know.
Oh,
which
man.
is really sad. He was a pretty, during 2011, at the time,
Like
a pretty well-known YouTuber.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. There's one story in particular where these 3, like, amateur storm chasers, they just were interested in storms, doing it out of basically, like, a hobby.
Yeah.
Who lived nearby, and so they went out to, like, they saw the storm coming, went out to kind of, like, see how, like, what it would turn into, and then obviously it turns into this horrific tornado. So they get in their truck, and they're trying to, like, outrun it, basically. And it got to the point where they had no choice but to, there was like a convenience store they were driving by. So they park the car, run into the convenience store, and there's like people in there and they're all hiding. And they talked about everyone screaming and things being thrown around. And then all of a sudden, like, everything went quiet and calm. And because this is one of the stories on the documentary, and the girl looks up and can see they're inside the tornado. It's like they were in the eye of the tornado.
Storm, yeah.
And, yeah, so the tornado was literally on top of them. When it was all over, the group of huddled people were the only thing still standing. The entire store was gone, and it's just the people. Like, they said that, like, when the storm was over, they, like, look up, and they just, like, walked into the park. There were no walls left, like, literally nothing left.
Oh, my God. Could you imagine?
No.
Like, I don't think, like, how do you process that?
How do you survive that?
Yeah, that's a miracle.
Yeah. And that's not, like, the only story of that happening. Because, I mean, this tornado, like, leveled the community. But, like, people survived. And buildings were leveled. And a lot of people were, like, caught off guard because the storm came out of nowhere. So, like, a lot of them were, like, at their jobs.
Didn't really have warning.
Or, yeah, they had no warning. There were some people that were actually trapped outside of their house because they're, like, coming home from the high school graduation when the storm hit. And then, of course, the storm comes, all the power goes out, so people can't open their garage doors. Like, some of them were literally, like, stuck outside because it happened so fast. Yeah. So, yeah, it's very interesting how literally anyone survived at all.
That's wild.
From the rubble came stories of mysterious entities that were dubbed the butterfly people. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh my God, this is gonna be so
You're like, I have
creepy.
no idea where this is going.
I don't, but this is gonna, I'm like creeped out by the thought of what I think it is.
So, numerous children reported seeing or sensing these beings. They were described as beings with colorful wings shielding them from the debris by wrapping them up, or they would use their bodies to protect the children. First responders, teachers, parents, pastors, and officers all heard tales of these butterfly people. About half of the children were counseled at Joplin child trauma treatment centers that were set up in the schools afterwards. Clinical director Donnell Robinson heard these stories firsthand by many children. They were described as beings with colorful wings shielding them from the debris by wrapping them up, or they would use their bodies. Many of these children stated that they somehow knew these butterfly people were there to calm them and help keep them safe. In one case, a girl was thrown into the air by the tornado but claimed to have been caught by the butterfly people and returned to the ground.
So, it sounds to me like guardian angels.
Yeah.
Like, that's literally what it sounds like to me.
Yeah.
Like, guardian angels.
Yeah.
Doesn't it? Like,
it does.
Yeah.
So,
that's
yeah.
So wild. But,
so, like, these beings aren't bad. They, like, saved people.
right. But also, like, it's kind of crazy because you have multiple people saying it. That's the thing where I'm like, okay, if it's, like, one bitch in the middle of a storm that's like, yes, this happened, I'm like, chill out,
girl,
Susan.
you might have hit your head.
Yeah, chill out, Susan. But,
Yeah.
like, when you got multiple peoples from different areas of the town saying, this is what's happening, like, then I'm more like, wow, like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Because it's hard to dispute something when you have so many people saying this is what they saw. And yes, there is a groupthink thing that happens in tragedies, but that kind of groupthink, that's very supernatural.
Mm-hmm.
And those types of groupthink don't really, I don't know, don't really happen often.
Well, and it's not like they all got together
and
they're, like, feeding off each other's stories, building these characters.
They didn't know this storm was going to happen.
Yeah. So, a former newspaper reporter, Marta Churchwell, investigated and held interviews with people. Martha is a natural skeptic and did not believe in angels. After numerous interviews, she couldn't discount the possibility because so many children who didn't know each other told similar stories. A high school counselor, Shelley Wilson, who heard so many stories of these butterfly people while volunteering for the Red Cross that she considered this to be one of the reasons why so many people actually did survive.
Wow, that's insane.
I know.
That's so, like, I don't know, that's so intense to me.
Because it, like, really doesn't make sense how many people... I mean, a lot of people died. A lot of people were injured. But before I told you there were 48,000 people in the city. And really, even though 161 people is a lot of people...
It could have been way more.
So, like, it should have been
you're not discounting the tragedy. You're just saying, like...
Like, it should have
been more people.
Yeah.
And the fact that that story is emerging, it's saying, like, there was some kind of divine intervention there. Like, something.
Yeah.
Because that's crazy.
Yeah.
And I don't know exactly. We haven't really talked too much about your spiritual beliefs, or our spiritual beliefs. But as someone who does believe in a higher power, I think that is so, like, that's just such an obvious example of that type of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe it wasn't guardian angels if you're not religious. Maybe it was just, like, these protectors, you know, but, like...
Like your own personal spirit.
Yeah, yeah. But to me...
Or ancestors or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to me, though, like, I go straight to, like, the guardian angel. But, like, yeah, maybe it wasn't a guardian angel. Maybe it was just, like, a spirit protector or... Yeah. Something like that, but that's so wild to me.
Yeah. A few parents saw them also and gave their eyewitness testimonies on a TV show. One of them was a Red Cross volunteer who saw a butterfly person standing near a grieving family afterwards. So it also wasn't just children seeing them. Like, a lot of the stories came from children, but it wasn't just children that were seeing them.
And as a Red Cross worker, you're the person that's there to, like, help save these people. So you're not going in with the intention that, like, something paranormal or something like that is saving these people. You're going there thinking realistically, logically, So, like, to have someone who is there under a logical mindset say, like, no, I saw this, that's a powerful statement.
Yeah. So now we're going to get into some of the children's accounts.
Okay.
So those were all, like, kind of hearsay. These are actually, like, eyewitness testimonies.
Wow.
So one story goes as follows. A mother and her young daughter were caught in the storm and they saw their car was about to collide with them. The mother shielded her daughter with her body and braced for impact, except impact never came. Weren't they pretty, the little girl asked, when her mother asked, "Who are you talking about?" The little girl replied, "The butterfly people saved us."
See, and kids be seeing shit.
Yeah. Kids are, honestly, that's why I feel like even though adults saw them too, I feel like that's why more of the testimonies are from children, because, like, children are just automatically more sensitive anyway.
It's the innocence.
Like, that's why, like, so many children will, like, see dead people that adults don't see, and, like...
It's the innocence. Children haven't had time to be...
Or question themselves.
Yeah. They haven't had time to be molded to think, like, these things aren't real, these things can't happen, blah, blah, blah. At that point, they still have their imagination, and they're not as skeptical of those types of things. So they're more susceptible to seeing them because their mind is more open and believes it's possible.
Yeah.
So that's so wild to me.
Yeah. So another story talks of a grandfather and two young boys, ages 3 and 5, were trapped outside a building. Like I said, that happened a lot.
Yeah.
As the tornado approached. They laid on the ground and were holding on to the grass to keep from being picked up by the wind. The wind, which I didn't say this earlier, but I think they said the wind got up to like 200 miles per hour at some points.
Bonkers.
Like, it doesn't matter what you're holding on to.
You're a goner.
Yeah. The grass is going with you at that point. The wind was so strong, it ripped off the soles of their shoes. Also, can you imagine a 3-year-old trying to hold onto the grass? No.
See, this is where my brain is like, okay, there's definitely something going on. There's no way, one, grass is holding you planted while the soles of your shoes.
Wouldn't even be able to grip the grass hard enough for that to even, like, keep them from being sucked up.
Also, the soles of your shoes are literally ripped off by the massive force, and you're telling me the grass held you?
Yeah. But the 3 were completely uninjured.
So
the little boys started talking to their grandfather about the butterfly people that were over them and protected them from the storm.
That is crazy.
Yeah. When I was researching, I found, because I also, like, kind of saw what, like, other people were talking about. I found a YouTube comment, and someone commented on someone's video and said, I was a part of this tornado at 18, holding my 4-month-old son and sister and niece. The butterfly people are real, and I saw them. I have firsthand experience.
That's so wild to me.
Yeah. And then this story she kind of went into a little detail of things, so just I'm going to preface, if you want to skip the story, skip a few seconds. This was a Reddit story I found.
Okay.
She said, one of my good friends was actually picked up and spit out by the tornado and looked like she went through a wood chipper and lost her mom and dog that day and swears she watched the butterfly people carry her mom away. I don't like to think about the tornado. I lost my significant other and he had to be identified by his tattoos and body parts. Or on body parts. Visiting 3 morgues was traumatic and horrific. I truly believe there were these butterfly people because I ended up cleaning up the tornado and got many accounts from children and adults about these butterfly people.
That's, oh man.
Yeah.
Could you imagine, one, the disaster just happened, so that's fresh in your head, and then you're having these moments. And
well, first your loved one's missing. You don't even know what happened to them.
Right.
Then they or their body parts get found. You have to identify them. Meanwhile, you're, 1, trying to help your community clean up. 2, trying to help yourself clean up.
Yeah. And you're hearing about all these, like, butterfly people.
Yeah.
Like, God, your brain would just be mush, I feel. Like, I would just be a mess.
I don't know how, like, I feel like you just totally disassociated that.
I would. I don't know if I would be able to comprehend all of it.
Yeah. So this next encounter might be the most widely known and documented.
Oh, man.
This is a first-hand account by a girl named Mason Lillard, and she told this story when it happened, and she still says 10 years later, she's still telling the same story.
Like,
so it wasn't like she was like a kid and these butterfly people and then her brain kind of like forgot. Like, she remembers it like it was yesterday.
Like, almost vividly.
Yeah.
She's got like a vivid memory of it.
Yeah.
See.
She said, my aunt called and said there's a tornado and you need to take shelter now. My grandfather was locked inside the Home Depot, leaving myself, my grandmother, and my cousin Lage in the truck with nowhere to go. So they were in the truck in the parking lot. And like, that's what I'm saying is this thing hit so fast. People, you didn't have time to run from your truck to the building. Like, it just came out of nowhere.
That's, oh, man.
We started praying, and I felt something touch my shoulder, and I looked up and thought it was my cousin. When I looked up, there were 2 angels in the back seat, one by me and one by Lage, her cousin. The tornado flipped the truck on its side, sending me and my family flying. I looked up and saw a 2x4 flying around in circles and saw we were inside the tornado. The storm threw the truck from the middle of the parking lot back into the lawn and garden section. It threw my cousin out of the truck, leading to life-threatening injuries. I had a 1-inch piece of angle iron go through my shoulder, broke 7 ribs, punctured my lower lung, and came out my back, a 1/4 inch from my spine and a 1/4 inch from my liver. I honestly thought I was gonna die. I really do think God left me for a purpose, is what she says. Her cousin Lage was pronounced dead while he was in the morgue. A woman was passing by and put her hand on his shoulder, and he let out a scream. He survived after being pronounced dead. Since then, Mason, the girl, has needed 13 surgeries. but she and her cousin are both alive, and the grandfather also survived too. It didn't say anything about the grandmother, though. So, like, I don't know if the grandmother survived or not. But her cousin is now paralyzed on one side of his body. Mason is now in school to become an EMT, and she said, I get to go on one of my clinics at the station that was the ambulance that helped save me.
Oh, man.
And I get to work with one of the people that helped save me on one of my clinical routes.
Oh, my God.
Isn't that so cool?
That is so... Well, first of all, if I'm in the morgue, I just want to preface this, and I touch somebody and they start screaming, after I think they're dead,
I know, right?
I'm going to die.
I know, right?
I'm going to end up in the morgue.
Yeah.
But that is so wild to me. That is so crazy.
Yeah.
There's something.
It's like,
I don't know if it's
like,
religious.
Obviously, they still got hurt, but, like, it's just insane that they, like, even survived in general.
He didn't.
No,
he died.
Did.
But
well,
they came back.
Thought he was dead.
Yeah.
I don't know if he actually died
Dude,
or not.
if
I don't
they're
know.
pronouncing you dead, you're dead.
Yeah, but his injuries might have just been so significant that, like, they were like, there's no way he's alive.
But, well, that's true, unless they did an actual...
Because, I mean, that has happened before where, like, people, they're breathing or something. I don't know. I feel like I don't see how it would happen nowadays with all of our technology. But I know in the past that's happened where, like, people have, like, been, like, thought they were dead and then they're, like, actually not.
I don't think it happens as much now, though, because we do all the, like, the pulse checks and everything like that.
But they might not have... Well, yeah, but just considering the circumstances, there were so many people needing help. Right. I don't think they were, like, hooking people up to make sure they had a heartbeat at that
I don't
point.
think either, but they definitely had to do something like this, or he wouldn't have been in the morgue. Because they would confirm you're dead, or they wouldn't put you in a morgue.
Yeah.
Like, they really wouldn't. Like, they would confirm in some way, whether it's like a quick pulse check, maybe his pulse was just too faint.
Yeah.
And they couldn't feel it, and they thought, okay, he's dead.
But they're just like, we're helping people, like...
He was definitely in a place where he was either dead or, like, on the brink. Like, right there.
Yeah.
Because there's no way he would have ended up in the morgue if he had a full pulse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, we have... Well, okay, before I tell you some of the theories people have about these butterfly people, I'd be interested to see what your take is on it. But I know you already talked about, like, them being, like, guardian angels.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me, is very much guardian angel. I don't know, it just feels like divine intervention to me. Like, kind of like, since the storm was so sudden, it was like something stepped in to say, like, this wasn't meant to happen.
Yeah.
This shouldn't have happened.
Yeah.
So I think that's why I keep thinking, like, divine intervention.
Okay.
Because I don't think like, God and, like, things like that, I don't think they intervene when it's fate.
Yeah.
But I think God intervenes when something happens that wasn't meant to.
Well, and it's interesting how, like, some people claim butterfly people protected them, but then other people witnessed the butterfly people taking souls away.
Yeah, so that's why I'm like, maybe it was like, I don't know, maybe there was just a moment of, like, there's people dying, a lot of people dying, and then there are other people that still have a chance, and, like, that divine intervention.
Yeah.
We take the ones that we know they're not going to make it, and then the others we save, you know? Like, I don't know, that's where my brain goes, because, again, that's my belief system. But, yeah, if it wasn't angels, I definitely think it was some kind of, like you said, like, spirit guide, like, something along those lines, you know? I definitely, obviously, don't think it was a bad thing. And I can't think alien either, because I don't think that that's, like, an opportune time even for an alien. Like, I don't know.
But I guess it depends on what an actual alien is.
Exactly. So it's like, I don't know.
Because are aliens physical beings, or are they just energy from another dimension?
Right. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think this would also be like an opportune time to be like, we're just going to go abduct people while this giant storm's happening. Because I mean, in my brain, it would put them in danger. Yeah. Obviously. Like, but again, it's a mystery. This is why things are paranormal.
Yeah. So the most blatant one is that they were angels that intervened to save a few people and then came to also collect the souls of the deceased.
Yeah.
Others think they are fairies of some form of a cryptid, or some people do think they are aliens.
Yeah.
Or there is the more likely one called the third man phenomena, which I wasn't familiar with this, but it says it refers to the times when people were in life-threatening situations and were believed to have received help from some invisible guide.
Yeah.
So kind of like their own...
Like spirit guide.
Spirit guide or something. So basically, something that was perceived by the children to deal with a stressful situation.
Yeah.
And the city is in the Bible Belt, so that could also be why it is assumed that these children were seeing angelic beings. Because that's just their automatic brain goes to, like, that's my belief.
Maybe they're... see, and I get that, but the fact that it was also not children that saw them
all
too.
the adults also, like, that's most likely their spiritual belief.
I do get that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But at the same time, it goes back to, I mean, just religion in general.
Yeah.
Like, everyone calls it something different.
Exactly.
Doesn't mean it's not the same thing.
Exactly.
Like, maybe it's aliens. Maybe one person calls it an angel. The next person calls it Mothman.
A spirit guide. Yeah. I think
because that's like also what this kind of reminds me of is Mothman.
A little bit, but I don't know why there'd be more than one. But yes, I get like.
Well,
maybe
no,
there is more than one.
not that he is Mothman, but just like how when that happened, multiple people saw him and had the same story, but they didn't know each other.
I feel that,
and that happened right before a really tragic event.
Yeah. I mean, to me, I don't discredit anything anyone saw. I'm very much like, honestly, because I am so open to like so many things, I'm definitely like, yeah, I think that's crazy. I think that's wild.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I mean, I believe it. They saw something. I don't think there was nothing. And I can't explain it.
Yeah. Well, regardless of whatever you believe, these encounters actually hold a lot of significance in the town to this day.
Oh.
A book was written about some interviews entitled Butterflies at the Window, A Story of Butterfly People and Miracles in the Storm by Mrs. Sandy J. Reynolds. A historical marker was erected for the butterfly people on Maiden Lane, north of 26th Street and Gabby Street Boulevard. And butterfly murals came to dominate the town, along with butterfly sculpture paintings, t-shirts, and business signs. So it's kind of like Point Pleasant, West Virginia is known for Mothman, and Joplin, Missouri is known for butterfly people.
Yeah. I mean, I think, obviously, living in the town, I would probably be the same way. I'd be like, this place is significant. Something happened here we can't explain. I'd be all about it too. So I understand why they're like, we want to, it's almost like giving thanks to whatever it was and saying like, look, we thank you for what you did for us. And this is our way of like how we build statues to commemorate people.
Yeah.
I think this is a way of doing that and almost saying like.
Well, I'm sure there's like some semblance of like hope, like something for them to like hold on to like move on with their lives.
Exactly. I wonder if anyone nowadays has seen any more of these people there.
I don't know.
Or if
but I'm also like, because I mean, there's a lot of natural disasters that happen all the time.
Yeah.
But like, it's specifically Joplin, Missouri that references butterfly people. It wasn't like I Googled butterfly people and it's like, oh, people have seen them in this city. People have seen them here. It was like, no, everything was about Joplin, Missouri. It's like very specific to that place.
Maybe that area has just got something going on.
Maybe. Or maybe it was just such a significant
moment in time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know.
God, that's wild. That's good.
Yeah.
That makes you think, you know? It's one of those things where you hear it and you're like, okay, that's a hard one to discredit when so many people who didn't even know each other were like, did you saw this too? Mm-hmm. That's crazy to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wild.
So now we gotta go to Joplin, Missouri.
I know. Like, what? That is, yeah. Man.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Tragic.
Yeah.
Tragic, but also, I don't know. Oh no, that's crazy. I couldn't imagine, like, living through that.
No.
That's insane.
And then living through it and then living with it for the rest of your life.
Yeah, and knowing, like, you saw this thing and being, like, 100% in your brain. Like, I know what happened. You can't tell me otherwise.
Yeah.
You know, because as outsiders, we could sit here and be like, it could have been this, it could have been this, it could have been this. But, like, if you saw that in person.
Yeah.
And someone tried to tell you, like,
I'd be pissed.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm totally over here, like, I think they saw what they saw.
Mm-hmm. We can't put a name to it, but they saw something.
Yeah. Whether it was guardian angels, spirit guides, whatever. There was something there that day in Joplin. So.
Yeah.
Crazy.
That's my story.
I love it. Good story.
Yeah.
There's a lot there.
Yeah.
There's a lot there. Like.
Yeah. So I didn't even know about the butterfly people, but then after the documentary came out, I was seeing all these, like, things on social media, like, they didn't talk about the butterfly people, blah, blah, and I was like, what the fuck are these butterfly people?
Yeah.
And then I just, like, got so sucked in.
I need to watch the documentary. I gotta be mentally prepared, but I gotta watch it.
Crazy. But it's so good.
It's on
Like,
Netflix?
honestly, it's one of the best natural disaster documentaries I've ever seen.
It's on Netflix?
Uh-huh.
Go watch it on Netflix. You got Netflix?
I want to say it's called The Twister, because at first when I saw it on Netflix, I didn't realize it was a documentary. I was like, oh, another Twister movie.
Oh, a Twister movie, yeah. Which I've been into. I love Twister.
Yeah.
Have you seen Twister?
I have. Yeah.
Top 5.
Yeah.
Top 5, Helen Hunt. Oh! Yeah. Best. The new one wasn't bad either. Yeah, the part 2, it wasn't bad. It wasn't as good as the first one.
They never are.
No. But thank you for that. That was a good story. I'm going to think about that all day. I really am.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out with us and watching and listening. Make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
And send us your stories at the local Gayliens. I was like, am I saying it right? The local Gayliens at outlook.com.
Mm-hmm. Send it.
Do it. Just do it.
Right now.
Yeah.
Immediately.
Yeah.
Scram.
If you're not going to send it, scram.
But until then,
keep it spooky. I can never remember what I say each time.
Keep it. You change it a lot, but it's cool.
It's fine.
I love it.
We like to switch it up.
It's our show. We do what we want.
Yeah.
Okay?
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.